This is the 6th grade project, sketch plane cube. What we can see is our isometric drawing of what our part is supposed to look like, and then our orthographic drawings. Again, we have our top, front, and our right side view. So we're going to go to OnShape first. We're going to click on Create, Document. We're going to call this Sketch Plane Cube. This will generate our workspace. The first thing I'm going to do is choose a sketch, and then I'm going to choose on my top work plane. We can see that graph paper that's now laid on that work plane. I'm going to choose my top to orientate myself, and I'm going to start by simply drawing a 2-inch by 2-inch square. From there, I'm going to extrude this square 2 inches as well. This gives me my 2-inch by 2-inch cube. Now, going back to our orthographic drawing, the first thing that we're going to notice is we have a 1-inch hole on the top that is centered. We can see that it extrudes or cuts into the block 0.5 inches. So I'm going to choose a sketch, and I'm going to lay it on top of my cube. Orientating myself by clicking the navigation cube, I'm going to draw a 1-inch circle roughly in the middle. Now I can come to my dimension button, and I can dimension from the center point to the top line 1 inch. I can also dimension from the center point to the right line 1 inch. Now what I have is my circle that is centered. I'm going to click on my extrude button, and instead of adding a feature, I want to remove. And that's going to switch the direction of the extrusion and remove the material. I'm going to change it to 0.5 inches. Green check mark to finish. And we can see I now have that extrusion. Coming back to my orthographic drawing, I can see on the side here, on the front, I have a circle 1 inch that's extruded outwards in 1/2 inch. So I'm going to come back here, I'm going to grab my sketch tool, choose that front face, laying that graph paper across the front of that cube now. I'm going to do that same process, grabbing my circle, making it 1 inch, coming up to my dimension tool, dimensioning from the center point of the circle to the top side, 1 inch, from the center point to the right side, 1 inch as well. But this time when I click on my extrude button, I'm not going to remove, I'm going to add, and I'm going to add 0.5 inches. So again, I'm going to green check mark that. Now we'll notice on my orthographic drawing in the bottom right here, that right side, I have a 1 by 1 inch square that is centered. I'm going to grab my sketch. I'm going to choose that right side. Clicking on the right here, I'm going to change my rectangle tool instead of a corner rectangle to a center point rectangle. And I'm going to go roughly to the center and draw a 1 inch by 1 inch rectangle. I'm going to come up to my dimension tool, the center point of this rectangle to the top line, 1 inch, center point of this rectangle to the right line, 1 inch, and we can now see I have that centered rectangle. I'm going to click on my extrude button. I'm going to extrude this again by adding 0.5 inches. And what we can now see is I've replicated that sketch plane cube according to my orthographic drawings, so it looks identical now to the isometric.